So Marner's gone, and Dobson is here in Montreal, and the Edmonton Oilers are shitting the bed. Guys, welcome to Fuck Nation. It's July 2nd, and the whole shit is done. Everything's, well, not everything, but most of the stuff is done. Most of the players are signed. The big cheese is still not signed. But first of all, welcome, boys. Yanni, what's up?
What is up? You know what? As we're fucking introducing what we're talking about, we already have somebody hopping on.
Are you serious?
Here we go. Mr. Raton.
The
What is up, boys?
What's up?
What is up, boys?
You doing?
Congratulations, Yanni, by the way, on the.
Thank you.
I was just going to say, Yanni,
Congratulations.
you have something to announce. Yeah, Yanni's a pop-up.
I'm a Papa Yanni now, so.
Absolutely perfect. As you can tell, guys, Mike is not with us tonight. I think he's got a show or something like that. So, but you know what? We'll just burn the Edmonton Oilers and fuck him. He's not here to defend himself, right? So too bad. Mike, next time.
School again, Michael?
Huh?
Yeah.
You at school again, or?
No, I was eating a salad. My mom made me a salad, so when you texted me, I hopped on right away.
The last time my mom made me a salad was never. But whatever.
Don't say it too loud, bro. Corey Perry might be listening.
Listen, guys, so we have a lot to get to because obviously the agency is over.
Don't let him find out about my mom.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we want to get to. Okay, so before we do, I just want to say thank you to the guys from Red One. There they are. All my dear friends at Red One Music for all your musical needs, all your podcast needs, all your DJ needs. Go see them at 2069 Chertsey in Dorval, or you can give them a shout at 514-225-2226. You let them know that Nemo sent you from Puck Nation Podcast, and I guarantee you they will fix you up. Just tell them that you know me, right? So yeah, it's all good.
Ask Sergio. Ask Sergio.
Yeah, ask for
Sorry,
Sergio.
boys, I'm gonna stop moving. Let me just grab my iPad at the same time.
You're
Sorry
good.
about that.
You're good.
Look at this. We're live and well, not live, you know.
No, I mean, we've had other situations. We've had other situations where people are driving. Huh? So.
But you know, by the way, tonight we have an open link. So anybody wants to hop on, anybody from the chat wants to hop on, they're more than welcome. Before we continue, Yanni, we had such great response to last week's episode with Mr. Liam Maguire. Wasn't that amazing? Wow. Wasn't this guy fucking knowledge was incredible? Everybody's talking about one thing, Yanni, the 1851 stat. Remember when he said Wayne Gretzky scored? Michael, I don't know if you heard. We had Liam Maguire on last week.
I started half of it, but already from the beginning he was talking and like stating these things. I was like, Jesus, man, I'm like, that's grass.
he told us a piece of history. He says that Wayne Gretzky scored his first goal in whatever, 19, whatever, he knows it all. And the time of the goal was 1851 in the third period. Okay, you got me so far?
I got you.
Okay, 1851. Okay. When he broke Gordie Howe's record, okay, the points record, it was 1851. That's crazy. Is that fucked up or what?
That's crazy.
That's crazy, man. And we had so many great comments on Liam. And you know what? I can't wait to do it again. I hope he's listening. I hope all his fans are listening. It was such a blast. My goodness.
You know what's fun is like, let's say, Mimo, you've seen you like, not to talk about, like, I'm not saying you're old, but in a sense,
well, I am old, man. I'm 56 years old. I'm not
you've seen a lot of like piece of hockey history, and like for people like me, I'm like 23, and like when I listen to somebody talk like about him, like obviously I'm gonna check out the pod and listen to it in full. It like kind of gives me a description of what happened and like brushes me up on my hockey knowledge. Kind of gives me insight. You know what I mean?
You basically repeated what half the people that wrote to us said. They're like, oh my God, it made me want to go back and look. Don't forget, we have Google now. We can look at all the stuff. Liam Maguire, didn't have any of that shit. This was all, and
watching it or reading up on it or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I have some books here. I have some stat books. I have some Stanley Cup stat books. But again, they're books. It's not like I can go on this stupidity and, every 2 seconds, check it out and boom, I have my answer. And that's what everybody's saying. My friend Shane from Calzones is like, dude, how does this guy? I'm like, look, man, I don't know.
It's crazy, dude. How did he find the guy that I had? You remember who has won?
He asked him some fucking question. He's like, boom, here's your answer.
Dude, there's a guy I've never even heard of.
Incredible. And I had so much fun. It was, anyway, whatever. Liam, if you're listening, thank you so much for this.
Yeah, awesome.
Anyway, guys, there's a lot to get to. We are July 2nd, so Michael.
Shout out to Logan Stankoven. Did he cash out or what on that one?
He got his moolah.
But guys, deserved.
Yeah, of course. We're going to talk about the biggest one like usual not because I'm a Leafs fan, it's because it's the truth. It was the biggest one there. The Gergie's gone. My little Gergie's gone. He's gone to Vegas. Gergie's gone to Vegas. Now, this is my
Perfect
question.
place to be the Gergie, no?
Yeah, he's going to go do his... Well, he did it. Didn't he do it yesterday? He was going like this when he got his jersey.
Yeah, he did the gritty.
What a clown.
But, yeah, really. So this is my question, guys. You explained something to me, okay? Because they were talking a couple days before that... okay, first of all, let's get to the rule. Apparently, you are not allowed to talk to anybody before July 1st, right? 12 o'clock.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay? Can somebody please explain to me how the fuck is it at 12:01 all these guys sign? Doesn't that mean that you've been talking to somebody previously? 100%. And then they're talking about this tampering shit. Because apparently this Marner move was already
a year
in the
before.
works last year. Exactly. Okay? So now I got two questions for you. One, this fucking tampering, how are you going to prove it? And number two, how the fuck do you play on a team a whole year knowing that you're leaving and you don't give a rat's ass if you win or lose because you're gone?
Yeah.
Explain something to me.
I'm just gonna say something. It's in total parallel with this. There was somebody explaining to me, or I can't remember which podcast I was watching, where an ex-NFL player was stating sometimes GMs would meet in airplane hangars, hand in their phones before, and have a meeting amongst themselves. So what says that NHL players aren't doing this, especially for contract? I'm not saying to the extent of an airplane hangar, but who's gonna, like you say, who's gonna prove that I'm having a conversation with Mimo at 8:37 at night? You get what I'm saying?
But guys, okay. But what constitutes tampering? So if you and me, Michael, we're playing on two different teams, and we go for dinner with Yanni, and Yanni's a general manager of whatever, the fucking New Jersey Devils, and we're talking like, hey, yeah, New Jersey's fucking nice, guys, whatever. Is that considered tampering because we're having dinner?
It's tough. I think they look at it more from like a corporate perspective where there's like actual phone calls being made about it or emails.
Yeah, how do you prove that, Michael? That's my question. How like, what if we're talking about, I like your house in New Jersey?
Because I think they have phones. Let's say if they're talking. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying it's like hush, hush, wink, wink.
No,
like, hey, dude,
I get what you're saying. It's tough to control.
Come here and fucking have a house like mine. Like, where do you draw the line? Like, well,
No, it is tough.
It's true, bro. Where do you draw the line?
It's 100% tough. It's just I think that they're obviously what they have as phones. They have NHL phones. When a trade has to be made, it has to be made from the headquarters. When they send emails out, they're all traceable emails. That's what I think when they have a conversation through that or something of that sort. That's where I think they can draw the line on tampering. But in terms of, let's say, me picking up my personal phone and calling you, nobody's going to be able to trace that. You get what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
It's tough. It's very tough.
It's common sense. You're not allowed to talk to somebody till whatever, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock on July 1st. At 12:02, fucking 15 guys signed. You obviously been talking to somebody. I mean, come on. I'm not the fucking smartest guy in the room, but Christ.
No, definitely. I mean, the contract didn't happen in 2 minutes. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. Those fucking contracts are like, 60 pages long or whatever. I don't want any red Smarties on my fucking whatever, rider or whatever. And all of a sudden, 12:02, oh yeah, this guy's signed, and this guy's signed, this guy's done, and whatever. I mean,
It is odd. It's definitely odd because I feel like it's removed the joy of July 1st.
Yeah.
As soon as it's all happening.
At 12:01, you see everyone that signed, like within like a minute.
It's crazy.
Before like July 1st, like people used to get signed at 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then you're like, oh my god, where's this guy going? Like,
do you not remember?
You actually pretend that, hey, look, we had a conversation. It took us an hour to convince him. Whatever it may be.
Was it like 2 years ago? I think that Larac had the list of where everybody was going. And he tweeted it out, and he was like, "Yeah, right before July 1st, he's like, this guy's doing."
I remember years ago, Aaron Ward was on TSN, and he got shit for it. Something to do with the Ginla, and I don't know if he said, "Yeah, listen, I think Ginla's going to Boston." I don't know. Something happened. Dude, the guy got canned. Mm-hmm. He got fucking fired. You know what I mean? Yeah. So look, I don't know, but all I'm saying is, hockey fans we're not that stupid. Okay, we're not that fucking stupid. Don't tell me this tampering shit is going on. And because I saw some of if they were going to get caught with that, let's say the Leafs were going to fire them back with a tampering whatever, and try to take them to whatever NHL court or whatever. Dude, it's like millions of dollars in fines.
Weren't the Leafs in on it? Or was a sign and trade, so they were technically in on it as well.
Now I'm talking about before the sign and trade.
Oh yeah. Sorry,
that's the tampering part. And that's another thing. The sign and trade. This fucking guy. He got every penny the Leafs ever offered him. He didn't want to talk contract. He didn't want to talk contract during the season. He didn't want to talk about it. What does it tell you? He knew he was leaving, right? He knew he was leaving. He don't want to talk about it, right? Yeah. And then we have to do him a favor and sign and fucking trade him. And I understand what you're saying. At least we got what's his name? Roy, right? Roy back. Nick, is that Nick Roy? We got him back. I get it. At least we got something, because the other way he would have just walked for nothing. But you know what? I wouldn't give this guy no fucking favors. I wouldn't do nothing for you. You milked us for every penny that you could. Because you got all that money, you wouldn't take a fucking pay cut like some other guys. We couldn't sign anybody else. Right? Yeah. Now they're all saying he's going to go in a buddy, let me tell you right here. Look at me straight with your fucking gritty. You're not winning nothing. And if you do, because if you do, it ain't going to be because of you. Let me tell you
as
that.
As a Leafs fan, you know that it was a long time in the coming. Like, it was a long time coming, in a sense. Yeah. It was either, It's been, I think, 2-3 years now that they've been talking about either him or Nylander leaving, right?
You know what it is, Michael? You know what? It's Shanahan fucked that up, because his no trade clause kicked in 2 years ago. So they had 5 years, because he was signed for 7, right? So they had 5 years to move. And apparently, Dubas, as much as I can't stand his guts, Dubas tried to move him, and Shanahan nixed it. Okay? So apparently the deal was done. Okay? I haven't heard where and who or what.
At least back then you probably wouldn't have lost him for
exactly, for nothing. This Nick Rock. At least we got something, right? He was going to walk. Anyway, whatever. Now they're all talking about
$3 million cap.
Sorry?
$3 million cap hit, no?
Better than fucking 13, I'll tell you that.
I know, but they could have got nothing.
all the signings that they did, they didn't fucking sign nobody. Who just signed? They got Nicholas Swart.
That's what I had to ask you, actually, talking about signing in the Leafs. What do you think of Tavares? Like, I know you're pretty adamant about that subject.
Michael, listen, there's 2 parts of that. Okay, to me, I'm going to answer that question in 2 parts, okay? 1, money's great, contract is great, right? Because it's $4 million for Tavares. Dude, he got 38 goals last year. 38. Yeah. If he scores 20 this year, it's still good. Okay? Right or wrong? But this is my point. And I said this to Yanni last week and the week before and the week before that. If they're talking about changing the DNA, then what the fuck are you changing? You got rid of Marner. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? You got rid of Marner, and that's it. You didn't change nothing. They're all still there. Willie's still there. Morgan Riley's still there. Apparently there's rumor that Carlo, the people are asking about Carlo. Dude, what did you change in the DNA? If your whole point is to change the DNA, and you know what I mean by DNA, you need grit and you need balls. Did you see that fucking team that won? Did you see those 3? Let's get to them. Those 3 bastards, they signed them again.
Yeah, I know.
Zito did it again.
Kept all 3. They kept all 3.
Wild.
Yeah, Zito did it again. Listen, 6 years for fucking, what's his name, for Marchand?
That was to lower the AAV.
I understand that. That's to lower the AAV. I get it. But 6 years, dude. The guy's going to be fucking 43. Really?
Yeah.
He's going to be 43 years old, and he's still, Marchand is going to be licking people. Fuck off.
He went to little hard at parties.
But he made it work, man. Sorry?
To be fair, he looked younger, man, in Florida because he wasn't relied on as much as everywhere else.
Listen, you know what though, Mimo? As much as we all hate him, everyone would take this fucking guy on his team.
No, not me. I'm telling you, Michael. No, not me. Pascal's been telling me this for fucking 10 years. He goes, you'd love him on your team. I would fucking run him over with a Zamboni twice. Once in the morning, skate, and once at night. Okay?
I think you're lying to yourself. I think if the Leafs got Marchand, why don't you want Marchand? Why wouldn't you want a Marchand? Why wouldn't you want a Marchand?
I'll tell you why. Because when a guy like that does something, let me bring you back to when he was at Boston, okay? All those little cheap shots and whatever, those slew foots and the licking, whatever. Dude, it's easy to do when you have a Lucic on your team, when you have a Chara on your team, right? You understand what I'm trying to say? It's easy to do that. It's easy to do that, okay? But it's ask me if I would want Tom Wilson on my team.
Would you want Tom Wilson on your team?
Any day, twice on Sunday. Okay? You know why? Because Tom Wilson, he does it himself, and he defends himself. You understand? Weasels like that. I'll tell you what, Michael, you played at high levels. You know what happens. When you have a weasel like that on your team, and he does all these little cheap shots and goes and hides behind guys like Chara, right? You know what happens? The other team, because they can't get you, they're going to get your superstar. They're going
to hurt your other stars.
Yes, you're going to hurt Bergeron or Pasternak. Or what? You follow what I'm saying? Guys like that, I don't want to play with. Claude Lemieux was like that. Yeah. Claude Lemieux used to go get all these cheap shots till somebody told him, hey, buddy, enough of this fucking shit. Because I'm not going to stop protecting you anymore. Enough.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah,
So I would rather have a Tom Wilson, you know what I mean? Wasn't it that guy Dowd in Philadelphia years ago? I don't know if you guys remember. Tough guys that you want. Look, Josh Anderson. Look at Josh Anderson. Plays rough, plays tough, right? And you want to fight? You want to go? Let's go. Drops the gloves. Let's go. Okay?
Yeah.
This guy, you know what I mean? It's cheap shots, slew foot. He gets cracked by PK Subban. Remember that body check PK Subban gave him? Right? He couldn't get out though, right? That's what he's doing. He starts slew footing everybody. Right?
Yeah, I guess.
Come on,
I get what you mean. I'd still personally take him on my team.
I'd take him on my team too.
Yeah.
I understand. Listen, you know what? I'm probably like the 1%.
You make a valid point though. It's not like what you're saying is totally delusional. Like I get what you mean.
It's just the old school. I don't know, man.
No. I completely understand what you're saying. Both arguments make sense.
Ask me if I want Bennett. Yeah, fucking any day. Any day I'll take a Bennett. Matthew Tkachuk.
But you see, I feel he's more dirty.
Sorry? Yeah, but Yanni, he answers the bell. You understand?
Yeah.
He answers the bell, Yanni. It's a different kind of thing. Look, for example, if Bennett is on the ice and he does something to me, whatever, okay? My guys on my team are going to go after Bennett. You follow?
Yeah.
Because Bennett is going to answer the bell. This guy's going to lick and he's going to run. He's going to run. Why? Because Charo's there. He's like fucking 6'2", right?
Yeah.
Right? Lucic is there, sure. Right? That's the difference. And I can't stand playing with or against guys like that. I just
no, you're right. For that,
and I know I'm in the very, very, very small percentage. I know. Is the guy good in the playoffs? Fucking right. I think he eliminated the Leafs 5 times by himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get it, and I'm not taking away anything from his. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a great player. Whatever. That's even. You know what? That even supports my point. Why do you do that? You're such a great hockey player. You don't have to do that.
No, you're right. For that,
yeah. Like when we talk about Cristiano Ronaldo playing soccer, he's got 700 goals. Yes, I understand. Fucking 250 of them are penalty shots. Why? He throws himself every 30 seconds. In the fucking, in the box. Penalty shot. Dude, you don't have to do that, man. When I was playing, guys didn't do that. You know what I mean? That's my point. That's all. Anyway,
but that's
it's okay though.
Like I said, I understand both sides of the argument.
It's okay. The Leafs got tougher. They got Pizzetta, boys.
Yeah. Okay.
You guys got Pizzetta. You guys the same record as you, Nemo.
Homeboy, I'd rather have that than fucking Cali Yarncroke or Kampf or any of these fucking bananas. You know what I mean?
They got tougher though.
Let's try something else. Because if at first you don't succeed, fucking blame somebody. I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah,
they got tougher. Don't worry.
Anyway, so guys, the Panthers we were talking about, they signed all 3. Everybody's already saying they got the cup next year. What do you guys think? Yeah,
they have a high chance.
Yeah,
everybody's back. Everybody but Nick Schmidt is back.
Yeah, and they replaced him with what's his name?
With Petrie.
Petrie.
Jeff Petrie.
Yeah, they got Petrie.
Which honestly, almost the same type of player, if not better.
Yeah, it's
if the Rangers don't win the cup, then I'd see potentially the Panthers winning.
The Rangers win the cup, bro. We're gonna get to you last because I'm gonna get to you. Okay, somebody explain this one to me. I was hoping Paschke was gonna hop on tonight. Somebody explain Tanner Jeannot getting 5 years in fucking Boston.
17 million value, dude.
I think they're just throwing money around in Boston. I don't know. I think they don't know what to do with the money.
Did fucking Sweeney get hit by a puck in the head or what?
Dude,
I have my friend Darren in PEI. He's a big Boston fan.
That guy's gonna need witness protection in Boston.
Dude, what the fuck? He texted me. Dude, what the fuck are my Bruins? I said, I don't know, man. Tanner Jeannot?
Well, look, I like Tanner.
He's a good player, but he's a good player, but they overpaid him.
Relax, he's a good player. But Yanni, pull up his stats. What do you have? 15 goals, 20 goals?
I'll tell you in a sec.
He's a fighter. I know it was a fighter. He's a tough guy. He's a tough customer.
He's a big boy. He reminds me of a Michael McCarron, but a lot better.
Michael McCarron, dude, the pylon outside my street and fucking.
I know. My point is that it's the same type of player. Like if Michael McCarron were good, if McCarron were good, he'd be Tanner Jeannot.
Yeah, that ball should be my uncle. Yeah, exactly. So
he has. Let's see. I'm trying to look at it.
Yeah, it says he has 92 points in 294 games.
Exactly, and he's a -9.
Yeah, 5 years, they could have got that guy for fucking 20 minutes.
But again, Mimo, annually, it's not so bad. They're paying him $3.4 million annually.
Dude, 5 years. 5.
Yeah, but they needed somebody, bro. The Bruins are a tough team. They need somebody.
I think
I
like with a lot of candle at the church.
You know what it is, Mimo? You know what it is? The Bruins know that they're not going to be a playoff team. Like I'm saying this, I'm not even trying to trip past you or whatever. They know they're not going to be a playoff team next year unless there's a fucking miracle that happens. And what I think they're trying to do is that they're going to try and play old time hockey in a sense of like retaining their identity to try and keep the fan base alive.
Yeah.
And happy.
You're the Boston Bruins. You don't have to keep the fan base alive. You're the Boston.
But big hits, big fights.
But to go and get those big boys, that's what like that. That's what I think they're trying to do. Like I'm looking at their first line. You have their first and second line.
Didn't they sign what's his name from Edmonton too?
Arvidsson.
Yeah, Arvidsson. Yeah.
They have Arvidsson. Yeah, like their second line is Casey Middlestat, Pavel Zacha, and Arvidsson. Like that's a terrible second line.
It's okay, bro. They got Jordan Harris.
Jordan Harris is not even in the top 6. You know what I'm saying? Like
Look, that poor kid. Anyway, okay, guys. Here's another one that freaked the fuck out of me. Evan Bouchard got $10 million fucking dollars. Evan give away.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to that one.
You know what? I flip-flopped on this one because I was listening to TSN, and they were saying, a lot of people think that Evan Bouchard is like overpaid, but when in reality he's not.
Why
because they're like he's consistently doing good plays. He's like when people focus too much on what he's doing wrong.
What about all the turnovers?
Michael, he's a turnover machine. And I know what people look, Mike said this last time, okay? When he was up, Mike's an Edmonton fan. He's like, but he's always on when the other team's best is on. That's my point. He shouldn't be. Go sit down. Stand up to go get fucking hot dogs. It's not for you.
It's tough, but like you can't, like that's the thing. You can't judge too quick. Like in the playoffs, like I understand the turnovers, and you'll obviously be a minus if your team concedes fucking 7 goals a game as well. You know what I mean? Like at some point you could put up 5, but if the fucking goalie's not stopping them, when the goalie's giving up muffins. Like there was that goal when Barkov, when he just blocked it, like when Stuart Skinner just blocked it out, it hops onto Barkov's stick. The guy just tapped it in. Like
they need a goalie.
You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things to take into account. Obviously, at $10 million, it's because they wanted to keep him, or else the guy was going to walk and find it somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Okay, so this guy gets $10 million. Okay, so my point, like I'm getting somewhere with this. Okay, so he gets $10 million. Okay, Noah Dobson, who just got traded, we're going to get to the trade now to Montreal. He got 10 something, right? Am I wrong?
9.5.
Sorry?
9.5, I think.
9.5. Okay. Here's my question. What the fuck is Lane Hudson going to be asking for? You think Lane Hudson's people are stupid?
Yeah.
They're not going to say, hey man,
Yeah.
look what this guy got, look what that guy got. It's insane. It's insane. It's fucking crazy. They're handing out money like, I don't know, $10 million for Evan Bouchard. Me personally, not gonna fucking happen. Get out of here. Let's get into that Noah Dobson trade. The Montreal Canadiens, to me, pulled a fucking rabbit out of their ass, let alone half.
Yeah.
The 2 draft picks, the 16-17, if I'm not mistaken, right? 16-17.
Let's be realistic. At that point of the draft, you don't even know if the guy's making the NHL.
You know what it is? I think, Michael, correct me if I'm wrong. Montreal is in win now mode, correct?
Sorry, what did you say? It cut?
I said Montreal is in win now mode. Like let's make a move now, right?
Yeah.
Now these 16 and 17 draft picks, they could end up being fucking Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky. The problem is you're only going to get that in 4 or 5 years, correct?
Yeah.
So Noah Dobson, you need that now.
Yeah.
Right? You get a chance to get a guy like Noah Dobson.
They went all out, like you said. They went all out, and like I hate Montreal. I hate Montreal as much as you hate Montreal, Mimo. But you got to respect them.
You got to respect it. That's a great move, Yanni. Look, you fucker. You're smiling, eh? You're prick.
Yeah.
He knows. They want to get Capo Kakkonen.
That's where I was gonna go. It's not even that, guys. Okay, so where I was amazed is how LJ Mooney dropped so low in the fucking draft.
And they got him.
He was supposed to be like first overall. If you talked 2 years ago, yes, dude, he was projected. He was projected up there, and suddenly they got him like what, the second?
Yeah. 32 teams know something. I mean, they're not all gonna.
I don't know, man.
Hey,
Well,
listen.
look, he could be a steal. There's always steals in the draft, Yanni.
Yeah,
But like, I mean, if 32 teams passed on him the first round, there was something up. You know what I mean? But
I don't know.
he
Lane
could
Hudson,
be a steal.
boys.
He could be a steal. Yeah, he could be a steal, 100%.
I think they got the hidden gem of the fucking draft.
What really surprised me out of everything was the fact that out of that trade with Dobson, you guys had ended up keeping Mayu and Reinbacher. I thought one of them was going to go in that trade.
No.
Obviously, Mayu ended up leaving. Right, Mayu's gone now.
Oh,
Right?
Mayu got traded yesterday to St. Louis. Yeah, for the
That's
trash
it.
kid.
So Mayu's gone. But
Bolduc.
you guys got Bolduc. You guys got a sandpaper guy up front.
You know,
I think he's
Yanni,
going to be solid.
Yanni, explain something to me. Why the big fucking move to get rid of Mayu? Why? He's a big
Personally,
boy.
I really think
he's got to learn what they all do.
Yeah, I really do think it has nothing to do with learning. I think it's just it wasn't the philosophy that this new organization was going with.
Because
it wasn't their
I
pick.
think, yeah,
It wasn't
I
their
agree
pick.
with you, Yanni. I agree with
It
you.
was Bergevin's pick, and I think if you've noticed, they've cleared most of the bad apples, I guess you could call them, from the previous organization. Look, if you look at who was left from the run we had in the playoffs, there's like nobody. There's Caulfield, Gallagher, Jake Evans, and yeah, Josh
But
Anderson.
Yanni, you know, just to add on to what you're saying, I'm talking from a perspective where our team chemistry is absolute ass right now as a Rangers fan. You guys as a team, the Habs, they looked happy all year last year. Whether you guys were losing at the beginning of the year when you know, like I remember when St. Louis was behind the bench and he was like fucking grabbing his face. They were always
what
happy.
the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, they
And
were
you know
always
that in your
happy.
dressing room, that goes a long way, man.
They were
Absolutely.
always happy. So your dressing room, you just know that they're happy in that dressing room, and I think that's what's super important.
You know, I do think we should have kept guys like Joel Armia. Personally, I found for $2 million, he's a great fucking player to have.
And he's a glue guy. Like nobody, like obviously before a lot of people hated him because he was overplayed, but at the same time, no, you guys had nobody. Like, in a sense, you know what I mean? Like, who else are you gonna play? Like at some point, it's
Dude,
like
$2 million
for
like,
$2 million. Yeah, keep him there.
So guys, here's okay. You know what? Speaking of Armia, he went to Los Angeles, right? So Los Angeles is making some moves, guys. Listen to this. They picked up Joel Armia, Cody Ceci, Dumoulin.
That one I'm not sure.
Corey Perry, and they got the goalie Anton Forsberg. Guys, that's a lot.
That's a good pickup.
That's a lot.
Depth. They have a lot of depth.
That's a lot. I mean, I like the Dumoulin pick. I do. I like the Dumoulin. Tough kid, hard to play against. You know what I mean? Corey Perry is fucking Corey Perry.
You know, and don't forget they even have Philippe Danault on that team too, eh?
Still, it was very hard to play against. So,
yeah.
You know.
I mean, they have that depth.
Sorry?
They have that depth, honestly. Like they're on their fourth line now. And I'm looking. There's Corey Perry and Armia. Like that's not a bad fourth line.
It's a very good fourth line.
That's what I'm saying. That's a pretty good look. Fourth line, Corey Perry.
That's what I'm saying. For $2 million, the Joel Armia is very good.
You know what? But it's not. They got him for $4 million, right?
No, I think it was like 2.
Yeah, no, I think they got him for $4 million. Or is it the whole length of his contract? I think it was $4 million. Anyway, whatever. My point is this, guys.
$2.5 million.
Okay, so that's why. So it's for both years. Corey Perry, he's 40 whatever years old. Everybody's gonna say, yeah, he's on the fourth line. You know what I love about Corey Perry? That when it's time to dance, he can put on his fucking dancing shoes. You know what I mean?
That's the definition of somebody that's completely changed his career around. Like that guy, when let's say in 2008, 2009, was a fucking Rocket Bouchard winner. Like he had the most goals in the NHL. Yeah. Like you know what I mean? Like, and now he's the fucking worm. They call him the worm.
But that's called adapting, dude. It's adapting to stay relevant.
Look, you know what? As much as I can't stand that fucker, Marchand did the same thing. Marchand went to Florida. He's like, look, I'm not the guy now. I'm not the guy, but I'm gonna go play. He played with Lundell and whatever his name is, right? Look what they did. They lifted the cup.
Yeah.
Here's another one, guys.
But hold on, huh? You know, we forgot to talk about like they re-signed Kuzmenko.
Yeah.
Which had very good success in LA last year.
Yeah. Okay.
They still have Fogel, which, in my opinion, is another amazing fourth liner.
Yeah, it's nothing, nothing spectacular. I mean, he's going to be playing with Perry again. Yeah, okay.
I don't know, man. I really do think that they really buffed up their team.
Well, Fogel, they went and get him in free agency this year, no?
Last year.
Last year.
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah. My bad.
Okay, guys, explain this to me, okay?
Go ahead.
Sorry, Yanni, what you were saying?
I just don't feel the Darcy Kemper, bro.
Well, that's why they got that Anton Forsberg kid. Look, nowadays you don't need you don't need $10 million goalies. Man.
Yeah, but look at the Oilers.
Well, the Oilers need a goalie. Doesn't have to be 10 million. Give me fucking $30. You know what I mean? Like,
Brian and Glenn.
Yeah,
but
get our buddies to go.
But I thought that he was going to be the answer, to be honest. Like for a bit, like I really had a lot of hope. Like the way even Mike was talking, Skinner. Like the way Mike was talking about it. The way Mike was talking about it, like during the playoffs in the first 2-3 rounds, like I had like 3-4 shutouts, I think, in those first 2-3 rounds.
Okay,
so I thought it was kind of going to be the answer. I was like, if if they face off against LA again in the Florida in the finals again, I'm like, I think they have a solid chance. You know what I mean?
Guys, listen to this, okay? As much as we shit on him, okay? As much as we shit on Jeff Skinner, not Jeff Skinner, well, him too, but whatever.
Well, him too, yeah.
Stuart Skinner, okay? Yeah. Dude, he got them there 2 years in a row, man.
I mean, there's somebody. There's a Connor McDavid and a Draisaitl.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? He was still the goalie. He was still the goalie. You know, I remember years ago, people were saying, "Oh, but the Leafs suck. It's only because you have Felix Potvin." I'm like, "Why? He's not on the team, Felix Potvin."
Yeah,
he's not on my team. Yeah. Like, what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't count. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Okay, guys. Here's my question. This is what I wanted to get this one. Okay, I wanted to get this one bad. The Edmonton Oilers lost.
Yeah.
Evander Kane, Corey Perry, Connor Brown. Okay. You know where I'm going with this, right?
But they signed Kapanen back though.
Yeah, they got that. Okay. So this is you know where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah.
McDavid's contract is up next year.
He's not going to the fucking Leafs. You're delusional. Stop it.
Yeah, I'm gonna shove a camel up your ass. I'm gonna tell you.
It's okay. He's going to the Rangers, right, Michael?
Yeah, he's going to the Rangers.
Yeah, you're fucking. No, but guys, seriously, okay? No Kane, no Perry, no Brown. Listen to that.
They got Mangiapane, bro. Come on.
Listen to that character. Perry, Kane, and Brown.
Yeah,
you know what? If I'm Stan Bowman, yeah, man. If I'm Stan Bowman, like, I had to get rid. No, you didn't have to get rid of these guys, right? And now McDavid, between you and me, guys, why am I signing?
Even you know, like Kane, as much as everyone hates him and his character, he's a great.
There's a guy that I want on my team. Yanni, what did I say 5 years ago? Michael, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I said it on the show. Okay, 5 years ago, and you can ask Yanni. 5 years ago, people were asking me. This is before the podcast. They said, "Who do you want on the Leafs?" And I mentioned 5 names.
Yeah.
4 of them played the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
Okay, Connor Brown, I said we should have kept him because we had him. Corey Perry, I wanted him, then Montreal went to fetch him, right? Yeah. Okay, Evander Kane, nobody wanted. Remember, I went out of Winnipeg. I went out of whatever. Okay, no
Matt Dumba.
I wanted Dumba, never happened. And who's the other one? 1, 2, 3. Oh, and Josh Anderson, I wanted, right?
Were you pissed when the Leafs lost Hyman?
No, not at all. Because at the time, Bunting scored. Listen, don't forget, Hyman didn't score 50 goals with us. Okay, he had 20-something. We got the same thing from Bunting at a third of the cost. He wanted $9 million.
Yeah.
First of all, we didn't have the money to sign Hyman.
Because you had Mitch Marner and Matthews.
Exactly. Okay, so Bunting gave us the same amount of goals. Then the year after, he scored his fucking 50 whatever goals. I'm like, what the fuck? Where did this come out of, right?
Yeah.
So, again, to my question, what does this say about McDavid? You think he's going to stick around, or is like, get the fuck out of here?
I think so.
You think he's gone?
I don't think he's gone. I think he signs for 2 years.
Did you hear his press conference after they got eliminated?
Yeah, he's like, well, that's not a conversation for now. We'll talk about it with the agent.
If they show me that I can, that we're, that's not very. I don't know, man. That's not throwing complimentary flowers to Stan Bowman, is it not? Is it me?
And this is your captain, huh? This is your captain talking.
But they also ran into some bad luck. Like Hyman was on fire. Like Hyman had like 109 hits in one playoff.
That's not the answer, though. Having Hyman would not beat the Florida Panthers.
I know.
How did they replace these 3 guys, Michael?
But it helps, though. It does help, guys.
How did they replace Kane, Perry, and Brown?
No, you can't. You can't. Especially after signing these contracts, you can't.
Character, guys. Character. I'm telling you, the Leafs, the people type it. You know what? That's why I don't give a fuck that Marner left, bro. You had nothing. So you can score 200 points a season. I don't care.
You know what they did? They signed Trent Frederick long term.
Yes.
They went and got Mangiapane. Let's see, what else did they do?
Nothing.
No, they re-signed Kapanen and
they re-signed Kapanen.
Then they got
Kapanen and Bouchard. And that's it.
A lot of guys stayed. This year, guys, a lot of guys just stayed where they were. A lot of guys.
Do you think I think the question more because McDavid, I think, is the type of guy that has enough respect for the organization to make him get signed at least by the organization and then get traded. Like he won't hit free agency. I don't think McDavid's getting to free agency.
Listen, I don't think Stan Bowman's gonna make him do that. I don't think out of respect as the captain, like he does have that respect. I think he does. Absolutely.
Now, if he decides to pull a 360 and say, "No, we're hitting free agency. I'm not fucking signing with you guys," there's nothing you can do. But at the end of the day, I think he's still gonna be a signed guy.
And if he does, do you blame him?
Do you think? No, I wouldn't blame him, but it'd be fucking disrespectful. It'd be fucking disrespectful, though.
So what do you think? They don't want to talk, and they don't want to take the trade.
I think what he should do is sign during the year. I think he should sign during the year, and he should sign a 2-year contract extension. And if he's not happy, I think then he requests a trade the year after. I think that's a classier move.
See, Michael, I don't think he's gonna sign during the year. I don't think McDavid is one of those guys.
No.
I think if the season starts, it's gonna be like, let me play. I don't want to deal with this shit. I just want to play.
Probably. Yeah, that's a good point too.
I think they're losing him. I don't think they're getting anything for him.
Well, I hope
where would he potentially? So now, obviously, okay, I fuck around with Mimo, but like, I think the Leafs are a potential destination. I don't know if you guys have that cap. You guys don't have that cap space. So what would you do to get?
Canadiens or us? Or
no, he's not going to the Habs. That's for sure. No. But no, just logically speaking, he's not going to the Habs.
No, I know. But, although I'm sure everybody's going to try to get him.
Everybody, you're going to shoot. Shooters will shoot. But let's say the Leafs, Mimo. What would you have to give up realistically to get Connor McDavid?
You're talking about a trade or just he's going to sign it?
As a trade.
You're going to have to give all kinds. Are you kidding me? You don't have what it takes to trade. Matthews has to go the other way. If you're making a trade, Matthews has to go the other way.
So you think Matthews would be the piece leaving, right?
Of course. If you're making a trade. Now, if you're making a free agency signing, you're going to have to, like most contract has to go. That's whatever, $7 million or whatever. I don't know how much Morgan Riley's making. There's going to be a couple of guys that have to go, right? Come on. Domi is making $4 million. He's going to have to go. And then there's your money right there.
But when a guy like that hits free agency, and if it does happen, people will fucking liquidate right away.
Yeah, of course.
That bold prediction?
Yeah.
Where's he going?
Florida Panthers.
Oh, that's curious. I don't think because then they'd lose everything. Then I mean, not that they lose everything.
Everything they just did yesterday.
They just don't have money.
You're going from fucking Edmonton, Alberta, to Florida Sun. Okay.
I think you know what? I think he pulls. I think if it happens, he could even pull like a Wayne Gretzky and go straight to LA.
That's right.
That wouldn't be crazy. That wouldn't be crazy at all.
Insane. A repeat of history.
That would be crazy.
Wow! Imagine that. Gretzky did it. Now he did it.
Do you believe? Actually, just talking about that quick Mimo, because you saw that happen. Do you think they say it was crocodile tears? Do you think he was really crying or like he really felt bad?
Michael, the world, maybe not the world, but Canada. Well, I remember where I was. I was on tour with my band. I remember. I'm like, what just happened? Wayne Gretzky got traded, and then all the truth came out later. Right? It was for money, and I don't know if you saw the documentary where Slats, Glenn Sather, told because Wayne Gretzky's like freaking out. He's like, "What do you mean I got traded?" He goes, "I got traded. He got traded." Glenn Sather told him, "If you don't want this to happen, I'll walk with you." And Glenn Sather was the coach. He goes, "I'll get out of here. I'll leave with you." Okay, so no, they weren't fucking. He never.
Okay, so then he's there. Okay, yeah.
And then he's like, you know what? If this fucking guy's been shopping me around, because the owner that did this, right? It was Pocklington that did it. And he's like, if this guy doesn't want me around, then he turned around. He's like, you know what? Fuck yeah, I'm gonna go. Forget it. Yeah, let's go. And dude, they got a king's ransom for him. And the one that I found even worse than that is the Lindros one. You guys don't remember that. Lindros with the Flyers. Oh my God, man.
Well,
he was in Quebec.
When he was in Quebec, you're talking about.
Yeah. Then he went to the Flyers.
Yeah.
All these players, and then we found out there was $12 million in cash.
I think
it's always about money.
His mom fucking the coach, no, or something like that.
No.
Was there not a story about
that? You know what?
Corey Perry,
guys. Yeah, Corey Perry. We hated him at the time, but the truth came out years later. And you know what? Him and his father were right. Marcel Aubu was not an honest man, and he was the owner of the Quebec Nordiques. And years later, like he got caught with some, I don't know if he did jail time or whatever, but he was right. He goes, I don't want to play.
That trade. I look back at it. I look back at that trade, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what a trade!
Yeah, dude. And again, there was like $10, $12 million in cash. It's always about the fucking Benjamins. You know what I mean? Before we go, guys, because we have a lot of friends of ours that are goaltenders, I want to ask you a quick question about Jake Allen. He signed in New Jersey, and he signed for $1.8 million. And right away, as soon as I heard that, I put on the chat. I asked Glenn and I asked Brian. I'm like, guys, he just killed the fucking goalie market.
Yeah.
He just killed the goalie market. 1.8? Are you kidding me?
Well,
bro, you could have got 3, 4 anywhere else. What the hell? I've been to Jersey. It's not the nicest, and no offense to the people from New Jersey, but it's not, it's not fucking Beverly Hills, guys. That's what,
Well, Thatcher Demko resigned at 8.5.
At what?
8.5 million a year.
Yeah, that surprised me. That really surprised me because I remember them trying to shop him around because he has problems with his
knee. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that surprised me.
But it's only a 3-year deal, so 8.5 million for 3 years is not so bad.
But still, it's not 1.8. I mean, Jake Allen.
No.
I'm sure the other guys must have told him, dude, what the fuck are you doing? You could have got 4.
No, you know what that is? That's somebody that likes where he's at and believes in the group, and he's, you know what? Let's do it. He just wants to win.
They signed Connor Brown and they signed Dadonov.
But this is what I mean. He's like, let's give it our best shot here. Dude, they're digging in. Exactly what McDavid was saying. Dig in. This is what he means. This is what he means. Forget your fucking salaries.
If those Hughes brothers stay healthy, they're nasty, the New Jersey Devils. You know what I mean?
This is what it comes down to, guys. If people start being less selfish,
that's not
okay, that's how you win championships. But that's the reality of it, man. That's what it comes down to. If look at Toronto, if you have fucking guys that are asking for 14 million each, they don't go nowhere.
I mean, the proof is Sidney Crosby, and in more recent times, McKinnon.
Yes,
that's the proof. That's
absolutely. The proof. You couldn't have said it better. Yeah, absolutely.
I
just thought of something. What Martyr signed with whatever right away. Right? Oh yeah, I'm signing with Vegas. He goes, I spoke to Pacioretty and I spoke to Revo because they were obviously with Vegas. And they said, they're nice and the schools are good for the kids. And I'm like, when did you talk to them? 11:59?
That's it. But right before his
okay, man. All right, we're going to Vegas.
Right before his contract signature. But on the topic of goalies, I just want to shout out one of these good kids that I know, and I put it in the chat. He got drafted last weekend to the Minnesota Senators. Oh my God, that's what I was about to say. The Ottawa Senators in the 4th round. Lucas Beckman, he's a really good kid. He has a head on his shoulders, and I think he's gonna hop on the pod at some point. I'd spoken with Yanni about
it. Make it happen. Let's make it happen.
But yeah, I'm really happy for him. He's a good kid, and he has a good character. So I'm really happy for him.
I wish him the best.
Yeah. Listen, guys. Ehlers is not signed yet.
No.
You killed me this weekend. You fucking killed me this weekend.
He says he's want to stay in Canada.
Guys, if this chat goes viral for whatever reason.
No. I'll be impressed. I said it fucking yeah. What did you say that guy that got? What is that guy that got signed? Glutzen?
What is that? A number 4 at Amir?
I mean, that's a number 4. It's fucking Amir, isn't it?
Because I see you guys. Because this chat for the people that are listening, we're in it. It's like their insider chat for the podcast, and like there's a bunch of texts that happen throughout the day.
It's
and
hilarious.
I like reading through them because I'll miss. Let's say I'll be at like 50 notifications, and I'll read through them. And I saw these stupid comments by me.
And it's like, Glutzman got signed. That's a fucking number 4, and I'm here. Isn't it?
Shishtok, bro. Shishtok.
The best was Ehlers. But yeah, go on the topic of Ehlers, yeah.
Well, fuck, he doesn't want to play in Canada. He said he wants to go to like Carolina where nobody knows you. Bro, I've got news for you. You're not gonna give up. Carolina doesn't want to fucking be in Carolina. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know, man. Some guy goes to Carolina.
Isn't he from Denmark?
Yeah. No. He's Finnish. No. That's
no. He's from Denmark.
Ehlers Finnish.
Denmark.
Yeah, he was. I think Denmark.
Yeah, Denmark. He's from Denmark.
He's from Denmark. Yeah.
Wait for toilet paper in line.
Yeah, go back to fucking go to a place where you have to stand in line for fucking toilet paper again, and you see if you like fucking Winnipeg. You know what I mean? Come on,
but man. Even Carolina, I don't know like where they're headed, man. Honestly speaking, they signed Keandre Miller to a really big contract. 7.5 million a year.
What do you think of that? I was going to get to the Rangers last because of you. What do you think of the Rangers? Because you guys lost Keandre Miller. I like Keandre Miller. I think he's a tough kid.
I think he got a lot of flack last year for the way he played. He wasn't the best, but like once again, the whole team wasn't the best. I think we probably have the worst defense in the league right now. As it stands, we are relying so heavily on our Vezina winner, Shesterkin, not this year's Vezina winner, but last year's Vezina winner.
And news to you, I'm not picking him in my fucking draft next year.
Don't, because we're gonna be exactly like the Edmonton Oilers. We're gonna put up 5 goals a game, but we're gonna get scored 6. So like, I mean,
you lost big pieces. How are you gonna replace that? Keandre Miller was big.
Our defense is atrocious. There was a stat that Bleacher Report put that in the last, I think, 8 or 9 years, we've literally gotten rid of every single first-round pick that we've had. Kako, Elias Anderson. We got rid of everyone.
You only have Lafreniere.
I mean, once this team hits its age peak, because we're basically relying on Panarin, Miller, and Zibanejad as it stands. And maybe Lafreniere, if he decides to wake up over here, maybe he could have a couple since the summer, wake up and fucking come back healthy. I don't know what's wrong with him, because even him, we put so much
flashes, in his bro. He looks amazing, and then looks like shit. And then looks like,
you know what? So inconsistent. Man, he only went number 1 because he was the best in that draft class. That draft class was rotten.
And I mean, at the same time, like it was. I think people put so much hype into him because it was COVID. It was that COVID year. I think people were looking for something to grasp onto, and they're like, "This is Lafreniere. This is the next coming of Christ." And he looked good 2 years ago. He looked really good and deserved the money that we paid him. But this year, no.
He ain't no fucking, he ain't no McDavid. He ain't no Matthews. He ain't no.
You know what? You guys are lucky you signed him at 7.4. Okay.
Yeah, you are.
If you signed him at 11, you would be fucking hating your life.
If he has a year like he had 2 years ago, fine. I'm fine with it. If he has a year like last year, I could put Mimo on the ice and he'll do the same thing.
Yeah. No, I understand.
But as it stands, this is our defense. So we have Gavrikov, Fox, Carson Soucy, Will Borgen, Euro Vakanainen, and Braden Schneider. That is our defense right now. After the first trio, you have all number 4s from Amir. That's basically what it is. That's what it is. This is what it is. We have Burger King and Amir all in the same fucking team. Fucking terrible.
Before we go, because we did this video thing or whatever. Before we go, did you guys watch the draft? Did you see what they did with that Zoom shit? It looked like I was watching a Chinese movie.
The best is when I think the best thing that happened. The best thing that happened was when they had when the Boston guy, I think it was
Boston kid,
Higgins. He went up to talk and nobody's answering.
Nobody heard him. And then they're like, "Oh, but there wasn't any trades on." What the fucking everybody's home. Everybody's home.
I don't know if you saw that memo, but they had they told every draft pick to select a song. They never played the song.
I didn't see that. Are you serious?
Caleb Desnoyers, who is Seattle Kraken's first round pick, he wanted to put the Godfather. He wanted to put the Godfather song, and they didn't end up playing any songs of any rookie.
You know, they were talking on the news on the sports stations. They were saying, "Oh, there wasn't a lot of trades." And I'm like, how the fuck do you want them to be trades if the GMs are all home? They're all in their own. Some guy's in his house making a fucking grilled cheese. Oh, by the way, hold on, the Bruins are on fucking on call.
You're absolutely right because that was actually one of the joys of the draft because you'd be in the second round or in the first round and you're watching it, and then you see Bergevin go to let's say the New York Rangers table, and you're like, something's fucking up there because they're talking. They're both on the phone at the same time.
Yeah, this guy. Hold on. I'm in my bubble bath. Hold on, I'll be right out. You're drawing yourself off because you have to make a trade, bro. What the fuck? Guy's mowing his lawn. Hey, we got the second pick. Hold on.
What was the reason as to why they're not there in person anymore?
I think they wanted to do that. Isn't it the NFL that does it like that?
The NFL does it. Yeah, the NFL does it like that.
Don't fix it if it ain't broke. Jesus Christ, Gary Bettman.
But what did they
hold on.
Cost, right?
Now that we're saying Gary Bettman, all right. I know we're jumping, but did you see the stupid new rules that he brought in? That teams
have to be voted on. Yeah, I actually saw them. I saw some of them.
Something about you cannot tell players how to dress for. What the fuck?
That's the one thing, and you hear other professional athletes talk about hockey. They're like, we loved that NHL players used to come in suits. They're like,
Yeah.
the NHL was the only sport where guys had to show up in suits. Then they let it loose a couple of years ago. You could come in team apparel.
You guys, I dare you to go play for Lou Lamoriello. He tells you to fucking shave. Your hair can be longer than this. Remember Nazem Kadri when he had it?
I respect that.
Yeah, it's just a matter of discipline. That's all it is.
It's the only sport where you saw guys in line, like, you know, everybody. Even when they do press conferences, you'll never hear, like, except a few bad apples in the NHL that I wouldn't call bad apples, but guys that give like stupid answers.
Yeah, what's his name? I'm only here because
of professionalism, and that's what I like.
Michael, who was that guy in the NFL? The guy who says I'm only here. Sorry? The guy that says I'm only here because I'm going to get fined. They asked him all kinds of questions.
Marshawn Lynch.
Lynch, that's right.
I'm only here because I don't want to get fined.
I'm only here because I don't want to get fined. Anyway, Michael, thank you so much for doing this. I know we longer than usual, but it's because it's so much fun with this free agency and stuff. Guys, we're going to be taking a little break now because not only there's nothing left in hockey, unless something big comes up, then we're going to hop on. Yanni's a new daddy. Mike's on tour. I'm leaving on tour next week also. So maybe a couple of weeks, but we'll be back. I promise you, we will be back with some other stuff. Michael, thank you so much for hopping on.
No problem. I always enjoy it. I tell you guys all the time. I always enjoy it.
Guys, again, I want to say thank you to Red One Music. Yep. My dear friends over at Red One Music, please go see them for all your musical needs, all your podcast needs, all your DJ needs. Go see my friend Sergio, Tommy, and James. Go see them at 2069 Chartier in Dorval. You give them a shout at 514-225-2226. You tell them that Talk Nation sent you. They will fix you up. Guaranteed. Boys, thank you so much. We'll have a lot more to talk about next time. Mike, again, thank you very much.
No problem, and congrats, Yanni, once again.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right, back to no sleep. Ciao.
Take care, guys. Michael,